The new topic that we're going to start today is the components of an Android application. So let's have some little bit introduction. Android application is a software that can freely run on any Android device and perform several tasks. So basically a software set of applications. So you can say that Android application is a software that freely run on any Android device that having platform of Android and perform several tasks, whatever tasks the user has asked to the software to perform. Android application can be written using Java language as you have done in your lab, that we are using that Android Studio over there. And in the next lab, you will learn how we can perform any operation using Java language in Android Studio. The Android Software Development Kit tool, that is the SDK, compile your code along with any resource file into an APK. And, so this is how we can run our file, because whenever we write a program, we need some necessary resource files, input files. An Android package, which is an archive file with an .apk suffix, contains the content of an Android application that are required at runtime, and it is a file that Android powered device use to install an application. So whenever we design any program in Android Studio, so every file in that Android Studio is being saved with the extension of APK, that is the Android package kit. So that .apk files are basically used to run on that mobiles. So .apk means this new application over there that you can run on your mobile. So Android package kit, which is an archive file with an and .apk suffix. Suffix you can see as an extension. Contains the content of Android application, whatever contents we have written in that file, what action to perform that are required at runtime, and it is a file that Android powered devices use to install the application. So whenever we design a particular application in Android Studio, that application is saved with that particular name and extension of APK. And whenever we download that application in our mobile, so we can perform the operation that that application has been told by the developer, whatever instructions are being written over there. Each application by default has access only to the component that is required to do its work and no more. So whenever we design application, we perform some tasks. Let's say that I design application to click on a button, and by clicking on a button, you get some message on screen. So only that particular task is being done by the component or the device that holds the Android platform. So each application by default has only has access only to the component that is required to do its work and no more. This creates a very secure environment in which an application cannot access parts of the system for which it is not being given the permission. So your application is unable to access any other part of the mobile because no permission is being allowed to that application to use the you can say the parts of the mobile. An application can request permission to access device data such as device location, camera, Bluetooth connection, etc. So whenever you install a new application, they always ask you to share, can we share your gallery, can we share your contact list. So they are asking the permission from you. If the user allow the application, only then the application will access that particular uh, device of that mobile. So that device can be the camera, Bluetooth, that can be a contact list, that can be your gallery, anything. The user has explicitly granted this permission. So this is a choice of the user either to give the permission or not to give the permission. The user can either accept the grant, or you can say allow the application to use that particular device, or you can say contact list or gallery, or the user will reject it. There are some necessary building blocks that an Android application consists of. These loosely coupled components are bounded by application manifest file, which contains the description of each component and how will they interact. So whenever we design an application, the design will show that what are the various big components that are being used over there and how they are interacting with each other. The manifest file also contains the application metadata. So its hardware configuration and platform requirement, external libraries and required permission. So what is metadata? Metadata means that data about the data, that you are using a data. Let's say I'm using a data of your, you can say, contact list. So data is what? Data is your name. Data is your contact number. So these are two data. So what is the metadata of that? Name is a type of character. So it gives you the information about, it's that type of that data is character and particular size of that, how much size can be allowed. And contact number again is a data. What is the metadata? Metadata is that it is of type integer. So this will become the metadata. So metadata become integer and character and size of that string. So this become the metadata of the data. Okay. Loosely, okay. An application can request permission to access device and location. The user has to stick around the permission, and the manifest file also contain applications metadata and hardware configurations. So this is a little introduction about the what an application is, how the application can perform, and what component that application can use. If the application want to use some other component, then the application has to get the permission from the user. That if the user allow it, the application to access the component, only then that component will, or that application will access that component. Okay, now the components of the Android application. So these are some of the components: activities, services, content providers, broadcard receivers, intent widget, views, notification, and intent filters. So we do it one by one. We start with the activities. An activity is a class that is considered as an entry point of user that represents a single screen. So, for example, an email application might have one activity that shows a list of emails, another activity to compose an email, another activity for reading the email. So what an activity is a class that is considered as an entry point for user, that what operation does user want to perform on particular application, that is an activity, and what type of activity it can do. So for example, that we open an email, either we can view all the list of inbox, all the lists of junk, all the list of send items, or we can check the either to compose an email, or either we can read an email. So this reading, composing, showing the list are the some of the activities. The messenger application might have an activity to show the new notifications, another activity which reads the message, another which compose the new message. So an activity is independent of another activity. So one activity is totally independent of another activity. So whatever task one activity is performing, there is no effect on another activity. So if we use the camera application can be started in a social media like say WhatsApp application to compose the message, to share an image. So whenever using a WhatsApp, we can share the image. To share the image, we have to open the camera. So opening the camera, we call it as an activity. And clicking an image from the camera become finishing of the activity. And after finishing of the activity, we can send the message to another user. The sending the message become another activity. So this is what an activity is. An activity facilitates following key interaction between system and application, keeping track of what the user currently cares about. So what the user is doing right now, to ensure that system keeps running the process that is hosting the activity. So if the user is performing some activity, the process will keep on running until unless activity get finished. Knowing that previous user used the process stops the activities and thus more highly prioritize the processes and activities. If we grant some priority to the activities, then we have to stop the previous running activity and allow the highly prioritized activity to run first. After stopping or killing a process or an activity, the user can return to the activities with their previous state restored. So once the an activity is being finished, or you can say stopped, or you can say killed, then the user will come back to the previous state from which that the stopped activity was started. And from that state, you can run another activity, providing a way of applications to implement a user flow between each other and for system to coordinate that flow. So this you can say an activity is I have started one activity one, then I have to start activity two, start activity three, then I can stop activity three, then I have remained with two activities. So when stopping activity three, I come and restore at the location that is activity one and activity two. So this is how an activity run in the mobile applications. Activity is a task that the user have to perform on the mobile screen. Services. A service is a general purpose entry point for keeping an application running in a background. So what a service is that it's an extra facility that is being provided to you when you're performing some task. You have to do some work on your computer and you don't feel that you become sleepy, so you start running the music on your computer and doing your work. That music will make you entertain, and that will become the service. That music is running behind, and you are doing some particular task of yours. So that becomes the service. So service is a general purpose entry point for keeping an application running in the background. Service is a component that runs in the backend. It acts as an invisible worker of your application. So if you're typing a text on your MS Word and it's a long text, it's a long text of let's say 20-30 pages. So you want that I should not get bored of it, and you start playing the music, or you want to hear the music from your computer, and the computer open another application to run the music. So that has become the background of that Word file in which you are doing some task of typing. So you keep on typing as well as you listen the music. That listening the music will become the service that is being provided to you, and that acts as a background music or backend service. It keeps updating data sources and activities. It also broadcasts intent and perform tasks when applications are not active. So an example of service that we can surf the internet or use another application while listening to music. This component run at backend, updating your data sources and activities, triggering notification, and also broadcasting intent. Let's say that you have a messenger over in your mobile phone. So no, for your mobile is just switched off. Nothing is not switched off, but you're not doing anything on a mobile, but still you get an activity, or you can say your message on your screen that you got a new message on Messenger. That new message on Messenger while you're not doing any work on it, still you get a message on your screen that you got a new message in your Messenger. That become a service that is being running in the background. That you got a message on screen that there's new message, and you open your mobile and read that message. That notification of the messenger, we can call it as a service. They also perform some tasks when application are not active. So you can say this is the example of it. The messenger is not active, so you are not using the messenger, and still you are getting the notification that you got a new message. So this is a service. The service can be used as a subclass of the class service. So services can be of started services or boundary services. Started service tell the system to keep them running until their work is completed, and this could be play music even after your the user leaves the application. So if you are performing some task on, let's say, reading the messages, doing some task on, let's say, writing some message, and you are also using that, listening the music on the background. So you stop writing the message, but still uh, the music is running. So that is the started active services tell the system to keep them running until their work is completed. So bounded services that bounded services run because some other application has said that it wants to make sure the services. So one application depends upon other application that become the bounded. If I run an application A, so I can run only application A if I got the application B. So that is become bounded. So application A is bounded to application B. To complete application A, I need the application B. That become bounded. This is typically service providing application interface to another process. The system thus knows there is a dependency between these processes, let's say A and B. If the process A is bounded to services in process B, it knows that it needs to keep process B to run the process A. So that become the bounded services in which one process can run only when it gets the services from the other process. That become the bounded. So we can complete the process A only when we get the services of process B. These are types of the services started and bounded. Then the content provider. Content provider is a component that allow the application to share data among multiple applications. So content provider is a component that allow the application to share data among multiple applications. It hides the detail of the database and can be used to read or write the private data of the application which is not shared. So you can consider, the one example is that you can consider looking at the contact details in the contact list, or you might want photo from the gallery which are also provided by the content provider. So it would be uncertain to access data from another application without content providers. So a unique aspect of content provider is that any application can start another application component. So for example, if you want the user capture the photo with the device camera, there's probably another application that does that, and your application can cause it instead of developing an activity to capture the photo by yourself. So it's said that uh, activity is what that if the user want to capture the photo while using particular application. So if you want the user capture a photo with device camera, so there's probably another application. So there's some application that can do it by itself, that it itself activate the camera and click the photo. So probably another application can does that, and your application can use it instead of developing another activity to capture the camera by yourself. So content provider is that in which it provides you the another uh, data data being used by some particular process. So content provider is that you want to access the gallery or you want to access the contact list. So you can only get the contact list only by if the content provider will provide you. So content provider means intermediate that provide you the data, whatever data you want. So it is a component that allows the application to share data among multiple applications. So you are sharing and data among multiple applications So this is done by the content provider. So content provider allow the multiple application to share data among themselves. So without content providers, no data can be shared among the uh, applications. So Broadcard, Postcast receivers. The broadcast receiver is a component that enables the system to deliver event to the application outside of the regular user flow, allowing the application to respond to a system because of broadcast receiver. Because the broadcast receivers are another well-defined entry into the application, the system can deliver the broadcast even to application that aren't currently running. So, for example, an application can schedule an alarm to the post notification to tell the user about an upcoming event. Very good example of the broadcast receiver you can say is that I want to take a class on Zoom, and what I do is uh, I fix the class on the Zoom, and just before that particular time, let's say by 9:15, I have to make a class. By you can say 9:10, I receive a message from the broadcast receiver that you have a class on 9:15. So an application can schedule an alarm. So that the application has sent the alarm that you are having class by 9:15, and that message be sent by 9:10. So an application can schedule an alarm to post a notification to tell the user about an upcoming event that I have to attend the class by 9:15. So I get the message by 9:10. So broadcast receiver is a component that respond to another broadcast message from another application or the same system. It can also deliver the broadcast to applications that are not running. For example, notify the user that the battery is low. So this can again can be a broadcast receiver that your battery is low. You still get a message on screen. Just right now that you have a lecture of 40 minutes, and I got a message on the screen that only few minutes are left. In a few minutes, your meeting will get over, and I have to rearrange my next class after that. So this is a broadcast receiver. So Android developer can use broadcast messages in the application in the normal flow. So these are the types of applications, or you can say components that one is the activity. So this is how I started activity one. Then I start activity two. Then I start activity three, and I stop activity three. You can say I kill activity three. Then I come back to the previous stage. That stage is of activity one and activity two. If I kill activity two, then I come to the previous stage of activity one only. If I kill activity one, then all my work is being got over, finished. So these are the activities. Then services, that is a general purpose entry point to keep an application running in background. That uh, you are using your messenger or you are using your WhatsApp, but you are not using it right now. Still, you got a message on screen that you got a new message on your WhatsApp. Then you open the WhatsApp and read the message. That are the services. So some are started services, some are bounded. Content provider that allow the one application to access the data of that in your mobile. That you can access the pictures in the gallery. You can access the contact number from the contact list. That only can be done by the content provider that provide the content to the various applications. And broadcast receivers that enables the system to deliver an event or a message to the application, and just as an alarming application that your event is going to be start or going to be finished, whatever it is. So these are the components, some of the components of the uh, Android application. So next is the intent. Intent are asynchronous messages which flow application component to request the functionality from another Android component. Intent is an inter-application message passing framework for communication between Android applications. It transfers data between different activities as well to start a new services and display a list of contact in the list view. Some of the example is the camera application send an intent to the operating system when the user decide to share a picture. So intent can be used to start or stop the activity or services or to broadcast messages system wide. So or to an expected activity services broadcast to auto request an action to be performed in a particular piece of data. So what an intent is a message which allow the application component to request the functionality from the another application. So we can get how intent work in this intent and intent filters. So within a few minutes, your lecture is going to be closed. Then I will send you the message again. Uh,